Hi, welcome to valuationpodcast.com, a podcast and video series about all things related to business and valuation. My name is Melissa Gragg, and I provide online divorce, mediation, and valuation services in St. Louis, Missouri. Today, we will discuss turning disrupted leaders into a disruptive force with Michael Teape. Since 1994, Mike has been conducting business and personal effectiveness design and delivery training. He's been coaching, training the trainers, and developing training strategy for a wide spectrum of clients. He works for global corporations, leading training firms, and universities, as well as small and middle market businesses. Let's go back to some of the calm. Like what you were talking about, some kind of neuro
Yes.
models
Yeah.
and neuroscience and this SCARF model. So what is this model and how does it help leaders become more
Right.
adaptable, more calm, all of those things? Can we use it like when things are really going crazy, and how do we do that?
Every day we can use SCARF.
Okay.
What I like, look, we're talking about SCARF because I feel it's the core model of pretty much all leadership sessions, leadership events. When you bring leaders together, it's like, look, what's our environment like? Are we creating an environment that allows people to be calm, adaptive scenario plan, and be creative, be a disruptor?
Mhm.
What if? Try these different things. That piece is what we're looking for. In order to do that, the SCARF model was a creation from David Rock, who actually he lives in New York, just outside of New York City now. He's Australian originally. And he talked about, well, what psychological safety really mean? What reactions are we having? And the link to our primal brain, our reactions. You might have
Mhm.
heard of amygdala hijacking, um,
Mhm.
where we have an instant reaction to things. Well, that unfortunately for us, those physical things in the past are still here in the corporate world, and we react just the same way as we would if it was a physical threat to us. So the SCARF model is exactly what's important to human beings for their psychological safety, for them to get into that position of calm.
Okay.
And that's what it's all about. And SCARF stands for someone's status. S is for status. Has that been unfairly affected? Do they feel that someone's status has been held true? So
Mhm.
status. Um, my favorite one is certainty. Right, with COVID, there was no certainty. So certainty, replacing it with clarity. What can they be certain of? A third is the autonomy. How much autonomy do they have in their role? How related do they feel? Are they related? Is there relatedness, I should say, between the leader, the teams, and the broader organization? And lastly, fairness.
Mhm.
Fairness is a huge factor. So, status, certainty, autonomy, relatedness, and fairness. So, I mean, you think about fairness. Does somebody think they're being fairly treated, or others are being
Mhm.
fairly treated? Is a huge part of someone's makeup. And when that's threatened, when they feel that there's favoritism in an organization, when they feel that people are being forced to do something they don't need to do, like come back to work
Mhm.
after the pandemic of everyone being 100% virtual, and then that trickle back, if they don't feel the policies are fair that the leaders are working on, that's going to create people feeling attacked. And they're certainly not going to be able to work on the valuable thought of where we're going to take our business forward. How do we move it forward in the new environment?
Mhm.
So that's a big one. And status is a little bit like that as well. So status is talking all about, have I made you belittled you as a person or your work? Have I dismissed your that doesn't work. Or in England we might say, well, that's rubbish. But it's a throwaway comment. And it's like,
Right.
well, who wrote this? Or not giving it the respect it deserves. That can force people into feeling threatened. It makes
Mhm.
sense, right? It's
Mhm.
in the wild, it was, when you're being attacked physically. Well, this one is, you're physically attacking my role and what I do. You're belittling it. Um, it's like somebody saying, well, you just do training, you know,
Mhm.
well, you just do litigation.
Yeah.
Simple process, really. Yeah.
Yeah.
And sometimes that can come out of people's mouth and you're instantly threatened. Well,
Mhm.
imagine if there's no consideration in how the organization is set up around your status.
Mhm.
So just got promoted to being a junior manager, but no one really recognizes it.
Right.
It's like, yeah. Oh, you're not a real manager, just a junior manager at the moment. So all of these things threaten us, push us into a disrupted state. And certainty is the biggest one of all, especially at the moment, is that we're not certain
Yeah.
about can we get affected or not. But as we've gone through a year and a half of COVID, we're pretty sure if we rock up to an environment where we're fairly close with the mask, I haven't heard of any cases in that environment, say, in a safer state, so to speak. So I'm feeling pretty certain that I'm not going to get affected, which means I'm not feeling disrupted, not worrying about my health. I can focus on having a conversation with a colleague about a business challenge. That
Mhm.
wasn't, I mean, people couldn't even, you couldn't even cough in a supermarket without someone looking at you like this,
Mhm.
and that's an instant disrupted reaction. They can't
Mhm.
focus on what they're there to do. They probably forgot the groceries they needed. Same's true in the office. Early on, it's like, well, how close can I get to this person?
Right.
And that's all they can think about is consuming. So if you don't have certainty, what you could do is work on is clarity. And clarity is being, well, we don't know what the infection rate is, but what we will do is we're going to follow the recommendations. So when they say we have to stay 6 foot apart with masks, we will follow that. And we'll review it every week to make sure that our office is adhering to that. So what you've done is you've created calm in that process. Okay, so you're going to review everything. You're going to let me know what the rules are, and pretty much, we stick to the rules. We should be okay. So
Mhm.
that's not certainty, but that's just clarity, and
Mhm.
and clarity of like what a lot of people did, and this was huge on LinkedIn for organizations, was to say, hey, we're not going to worry about coming back to work. You can stay at home and work as long as possible. As long as you need to. Sorry, not long
Mhm.
as possible.
Right.
Like we're not going to give you a date to come back. We're not going to do that. And people are like, oh, phew, I'm clear. I have clarity that I don't have to go back to work yet. So create certainty on that. I can relax and focus on the business issues at hand. Um,
Mhm.
and that's how that's worked.